When looking at a table, trying to find the pattern, I look for ones that I feel like would be easy. So I start with the 2, and when I look at 2, what do you do to 2 to get to 5? First reaction is to add 3, but then I go and look at the 10. Well, 10 plus 3 isn't 21. And when I look at the 10 and 21, it looks 10 or 21 looks much bigger than 10. So I start to think multiplication. But I know that 10 times 2 doesn't give me, it only gives me 20. So I wonder if it's 10 times 2 plus 1, because that would give me 21. And then I'm going to try it here. Well, 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. That seems to work. So I go to this next one, 6 times 2 is 12. That works. So 7 times 2 is 14 plus 1 is 15. And look at it, it's growing by 1. And then I get to negative 3. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 1, though, is actually negative 5. Feel free to use a calculator with that one. I'm going to keep going with the ones that are going forward. Negative 10 times 2 is negative 20. But negative 20 plus 1 is negative 19. And 100 times 2 is 200, plus 1 is 201. Now, though, I have to go backwards. Well, I had to multiply something by 2 and add 1, but this gives me a negative 15. So adding 1 would have been starting at negative 16. What do I multiply by 2 to get negative 16? I think it would be negative 8, but I'm going to try that again. Negative 8 times 2 is negative 16, plus 1 is negative 15. That works. Same with this one now. So something times 2 plus 1 is equal to 45. So if I subtract 1, that would be 44. What times 2 is 44? Well, I think it's 22, and try that. 22 times 2 is 44, plus 1 is 45. So that works. So what would be the rule in words? Well, the rule would be, here we go in red, would be to multiply x by 2 and add 1. And then in symbols, we practiced that in class today. That would be y. I'm going to do it in red again. Y equals 2x plus 1. Plus 1. I want to do plus 1 there. Okay. You could also go into homework help. And if you look at homework help, if you go into the link, gives you the answers in your table, leaves these right here. Don't know. Notice the output is 2 times the input plus 1. So kind of gives it to you. Write the process algebraically, gives it to you, and actually then gives you the answer. So no reason that you can't get the answer on these. Use that homework help. All right, talking about graphs, because we're going to get into graphs. Which car is traveling faster? Well, which one's the steepest? It looks like this B. It started a little bit later. I'm going to move that up a little bit. It started a little bit later, right? Time started a little bit later, but it's increasing. So I would say that B is faster. Here. B is faster because it is steeper. That line is steeper. The line crosses at 280. What does that point represent? Well, that's, whoops. That is where the cars are at the same point, at the same time, right? So they meet there. They actually are meeting there. Now, assuming that car A continues to travel at a constant rate, how far did car A travel in the first 4 hours? Well, let's look at car A. Car A went in 2 hours, went 80 miles. So if in 2 hours went 80 miles, so 2 hours over 80 if I double that, that means in 4 hours, they would go 160 miles.